But what happens in verse 13? The son gets what he wants. The father divides it. He gets what he wants, right? And it says that not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and journeyed to a far country. And you see, the road to Pigpen always leads away from the father's house. You've taken control of your life. You're your own man. You're your own gal. And no one ain't going to tell you nothing. And you start that road, and that road always leads you away from your father's house. You desire to depart from the ones who truly have your best interest in mind because you don't believe it. You're your own man. You know better. They really don't have your best interest in mind. They might love you, but they don't understand you like you understand you. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. When you were a teenager, your parents were probably, in your mind, some of the dumbest people you knew. You don't know my friends. You don't know my friends. They're not sneaky. My friends have my back. My friends will be there for me during the hard times. You're just trying to stop me from growing up. And I find that there is always a crowd out there that was encouraging you to make the wrong decisions, to make the wrong steps. There's always that crowd. They're out there. You don't have to go very far. And they're saying, get out on your own. Go out and don't let them tell you what to do. Be your own person. Go out and do what you want. Accomplish your dreams. They're holding you back, man. It says that this son gathered everything together, and it was not many days after. Why, guys? Because once you've taken control of your life, it does not take long to leave God and home. It says not many days after. You know, once you've taken your life into your own hands, it does not take long for you to leave God and to leave home. You desire a lifestyle that is totally foreign. Isn't that what he wants? It says that he gathered all and that he journeyed to a far country. I want to get as away from this place as I can. He desires a lifestyle that is totally foreign to the way that he was raised. He wants something different. And some of you know what I'm talking about. You're not living the way that you were raised. You're not living the way your good mama and daddy taught you. There's some, you're not in church this morning the way that you need to be, like your mom and dad taught you. You don't hold those values. You have drifted to a foreign country. You didn't just drift. You started walking down that path, and you desired a lifestyle that was different from what your parents had taught you. And you therefore must put some distance between you and your father and head to a far country. That's what this boy does. He journeys to a far country. And it says that there, when he got there, what does he do? It says he wastes his possessions with prodigal living. He wastes his possessions with prodigal living. The word prodigal literally means wasteful. He was extravagant. He was wasteful. He's on his way. And when he gets there, I find that the city of Pigpen is an exceedingly expensive place to live, isn't it? And what I mean is that within the Pigpen, in the city of Pigpen, its streets are lined with people who are willing to spend what you have, and they will spend it generously, won't they? He begins to waste all that he has, everything that was given to him, his very inheritance in life. He wastes it with prodigal living and having parties and indulging in everything that he can. And he's out there with the crowd. He's got to keep the party crowd happy. He's having the parties at his place whenever he can. He's got the drinks covered on the house, on me. I am Mr. Party, and everybody loves me. I will flip the bill. And everyone else say, that's great, that's my kind of guy. That is my kind of guy. You see, I find that the devil doesn't come and take everything away from you immediately, church. You see, the thought that the devil, you just wake up one morning, all of a sudden finding yourself a crack prostitute is notoriously false. Who goes to a career counselor in high school and say, I think I want to be a crack whore? I know that sounds derogative. I know that sounds derogative, and I apologize to you for that. My point is that who says they want to be a prostitute and they're strung out on drugs? Who says that? Nobody. The devil doesn't come to you and say, that sounds like a good life, doesn't it? He doesn't come to you that way. He comes to you in shifts because he knows you are not stupid enough to drop everything on the table the first gamble. He comes in shifts, but I tell you, his objective is everything. And he will send the users and the milkers into your life. And before you know it, you will end up in a place that you never thought you would be. It says that when he'd spent all, a point came in his life. It says he's the partier, right? He's in the far country, and he's wasting his possessions on it with prodigal living. And he's no doubt bringing every ungodly thing into his house under the sun. And it says in verse 14, but when he had spent all, there arose a severe famine in the land. And church, there comes a time when you spend everything because your companions will cost you everything. They will spend it all, won't they? Your friends have no problem spending your money. Do they? But what happened when he spent it all? It says there arose a severe famine in the land. There arose a severe famine in the land. And I find this really interesting because why did the famine all of a sudden come? It didn't have to come, but it did. It didn't have to happen at this time, but it did. So much for all the good weather that you see in the magazines, right? Because the good weather that you see in the magazines never lasts forever, does it? And the famine comes. And I want to tell you that the famines too are sent to you. It didn't have to come, but it did. And God will send a famine to you in your life to tell you that you are on the wrong path. And that it's time to turn around and go home. Church, I'm telling you, famines are a warning from God that you are on the wrong path and that it's time to turn around. There is something dreadfully wrong in your life. But this son doesn't turn around, does he? God's telling him, there's a famine here. Maybe now's the good time to go home. But he doesn't. He refuses to. He refuses to look around and sniff the smell and look at life and to take things in. No, he's got to go to the bottom before he's ever going to think about seriously coming home. He could have turned around at home, but he didn't. It says that when the famine came, that he began to be in want. Things are getting bad. The party is no longer happening. Friday nights are dead. No more Friday night lights. No more dancing at the disco. No more bars. It is dry. He can't even afford a drink. He's lost everything. He's spent everything. And now he's in want and he's in dire desperation. He's beginning to be hungry. And his body is in severe malnutrition and need of the nourishment that it seeks. And he's in want. And so it says in verse 15 that then he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country. And what did that citizen do? He sent them into the fields to feed pigs.